I just had parent-teacher conferences for my youngest son, and he is having some issues with retention, remembering things. They want to say that he has ADHD. They want me to take him to the doctor. This is the same thing that's going on with my sister's son too, and he's 5. My son is 7. And they want to diagnose him with ADHD. I haven't taken him to the doctor yet because I know that that's what they want to do, and they've done that for my sister's son and given him medication for ADHD. So I don't want to give my child medication for ADHD, so I have not taken him to the doctor yet. So we were speaking about this, and then how, and some other issues that he's having, like he's, like constantly in fight or flight, and he's very clumsy. He falls down a lot. He runs into things. So his something's off. So she suggested occupational therapy. And we were speaking about, and I had spoke about this with my sister, about how children that are like this, my sister took her son to see a specialist, and they said something about the frontal lobe of the brain not being fully developed. Now we are trying to figure out, like, what's the reason? Why is my nephew having issues? And this is with the frontal lobe development and causing the clumsiness and possibly the ADHD and the attention. They're having the same symptoms. And my son, and my sister took her son to a specialist, and they suggested this certain type of therapy which would develop the frontal lobe, where they put lights and certain vibrations and sound in different parts of the brain to develop the frontal lobe. And this is supposed to help with the clumsiness and everything like that, helps them, and to get them out of fight or flight. So this is not like an insurance covered therapy. This is a new type of therapy, and it was thousands of dollars. So my sister and I were talking about it and how we could possibly figure out a way to do this at home. So I was speaking to someone at the school that's working with my son about this, and she suggested that maybe occupational therapy could do the same thing and it helps with the balance and things. So maybe that would help with the development of the frontal lobe. So I just thought that was very interesting that they're both having the same symptoms. And I was asking her, I said, what do you think would cause something like this? And she's like, I don't know. And a lot of people are saying, I don't know. And I said, do you think maybe trauma? She said, yeah, for sure. Probably something like that could cause it. And I said, well, when Javi was 3 or 4 months old was when his dad left the first time. And it was very traumatic. And then he would come back and then leave and come back and leave. And then the time that he left for the last time, that I was like, no more, we're not doing this no more, he was 3 years old. So from 3 or 4 months old to 3 years old, you know, he had this cyclical traumatic event of his dad coming and leaving and coming and leaving. And he would actually, when we would go out places, like he would walk up to strangers and say, my dad abandoned me. And that makes my heart hurt just saying it out loud. So, and My nephew, who's 5, and my sister, her husband passed from cancer. And I think he was 3 years old as well when that happened. So he has experienced some severe trauma, and he has a lot of other issues because of that as well, like really severe abandonment trauma, to where he can't hardly stand to not see where his mother is all the time, So I just thought that was very interesting how they both experienced trauma when they were very young. They both are having issues with the development of their frontal lobe, which is in turn causing clumsiness, like balance issues, possibly attention and retention, fight or flight. So like for a child, that just means like more fits and emotion. And the connection between it. So I'm going to continue to try to help my son with this, and we can maybe figure this out together. If anyone has any insight on this, I'd love to hear it. Another thing, we were also speaking about, she suggested I take him to the doctor, and I said I don't want to get him medication for ADHD. And she's like, well, that's what's going to happen. I'm like, exactly, and that's not what I want to happen. I think there's a root problem that's causing it, and I don't want to Band-Aid it with a prescription medication. And she's like, oh, well, I'm a medicine girl. She said, I don't want to relive my trauma. I don't want to talk about my trauma. I just want to take some medicine and feel better. I'm happy, and that's good enough. And I said, okay, yeah, I understand. And that's how 99.9% of everyone thinks and feels. Let's just slap a Band-Aid on it. Let's just take some medicine. Let me just numb myself instead of getting to what the root of the problem is and fixing it in your brain or your body. So, just an observation from today. And also my story about what's going on with my kid and my nephew. And probably lots of children. She said that there is tons of children that she sees in this age group with issues of occupational therapy. Like they're clumsy, like they can't touch their nose, and she wondered, was it what she said to me? She said, I wonder if it's from COVID and from the isolation. And so that's what God is talking about. Do you think it could be caused by trauma then? So, I don't know. Just some pretty interesting things. But she says she's seeing it in a lot of children in the same age group.